because strategy and thinking, both when you cut down the whole word, the whole sentence, strategic thinking tools into parts or into smaller missions, both strategy and thinking. Strategy is what you plan for further, and thinking is your perspective, your personality, your decision. Everything depends on what you think, everything depends on your thoughts. So, both are very vital, very important, which will facilitate growth in your life and to be clubbing those two strategical thinking tools and planning. This topic is really a worthy topic, and I thank Mugil for giving me this topic. So, before I start with my session about strategical thinking tools and planning, I would want every one of you to close your eyes for a few minutes, sit back and relax. Some of you might have had a very hectic day, some of you might have had a very delightful day, or some of you might have had a confused day. Anything it is, by now we are at the end of the day almost. So I would want all, to sit back and close your eyes and relax. By then, I would love to read out a gratefulness poem because gratefulness is something that every one of us must practice. We need to be grateful for everything, for God, universe, for giving us this life that we are having the ability to breathe. So, gratefulness poem. This is by Joseph Renaldi. That is, I am grateful for the eyes that I can see, the activities that can be done by me. I am grateful for the ears that I may hear, the sobbing of those who need me near. I am grateful for the hands that I might do some arduous or simple task for you. I am grateful for the ability to always pray, to give me strength and guidance every day. I'm grateful for one thing, all else above, that I was given a heart that I may love. Yes, how much ever we think, how much ever we, keep keep participating in this race called life, at the end of the day, it all lies here, it all lies in our thoughts. So, how do we plan our strategy? When Google Guru is the right term, I guess, because today, ChatGPT, AI, or Google, for that reason, any such applications have been there in our fingertips. We want it every now and then to find a meaning of complicated word or to find you some quote, anything. When you Google what is strategical thinking, you get a definition like this. That is, the definition of strategic thinking can be understood as the ability to rationally analyze and navigate flexibly through critical situation, envision long-term goals, and develop stepwise plans to achieve those goals with an agile and dynamic mindset. So this is a very complicated definition what Google puts forth when you search for what do you mean by strategical thinking. But when you cut it down into small parts, the very important factors of strategical thinking is one is rationality. That is rational decision making. We as human beings, as already our chief guest mentioned, someone with sixth sense, someone who has instinct, someone who has a brighter or a more stronger thinking power than all other living beings on earth, we should be rational enough to decide which is meant for us, to decide right or wrong. Right or wrong in the sense, I don't believe there is something called as predetermined things right or predetermined things wrong. It all depends on your perspective until and unless you are hurting someone else. Either you shouldn't hurt them, you should be away from hurting, or you should be away from any negativity, and then anything you choose for yourself, no matter who will oppose it, no matter who dislikes it, it's all up to you. So that rationality and flexibility, because in this dynamic world one must be dynamic. I believe a very important personality factor is dynamism, because change is the only thing that is permanent. Except change, there's nothing that is permanent. So when the world is changing, you should be flexible enough to change with the world. You should be flexible enough to accept and adopt that you are changing, and you are ready to change yourself, to change your thoughts, to change whatever restrictions or whatever boundaries you have created around yourself. That is just an imaginary boundary. And then long term goals and stepwise plans. So short term goals, long term goals can be classified into two, but long term goals are something that would provide you with long term benefits as well. So choose those goals, select those goals, and you can't achieve anything overnight, because some anything that needs to be achieved, that has its own pace to be followed. So overnight achievement is impossible. With that aim, a long term goal with a stepwise plan, your plans divided into smaller parts where you accomplish a tiny task every day will make a big difference. When you are about to achieve your goal, that will make a big difference. A smaller plan, a smaller task will make a bigger difference for that matter. And then strategy. When we speak about strategy, we usually think, or we usually, there's a tendency in us to complicate that term strategy. But how simple is strategy? I would like to tell you one story. So I think all of you know the Colgate brand, right? So Colgate, it is a toothpaste brand. So back then, when Colgate was low, or the sales of Colgate toothpaste went down, so they were discussing, they had a meeting like, how do we make people buy more of our products? How do we increase demand for our brand? Then a low level worker, or a lower authority worker, he gave the idea of, widening the diameter of that toothpaste hole. Wherever the toothpaste comes out, the whole of the diameter of that hole was widened. Then the more amount of toothpaste comes out in one press of any customer. So when that happens, customers will use the toothpaste quickly, and that will make them buy more and more toothpaste within a shorter term. That is a simple strategy example of a business unit. While you apply same thing in your life, that is also very simple to determine your strategies. I would tell strategies are subjective. You can't tell, if me as Hita, if I have one strategy, I can't tell Senthil sir or our chief guest ma'am should have same strategy, because it is objective. We are different humans living here with different perspectives, grown in different environments with different visions. So that is why our strategies vary from each other. So we must stop comparing with the strategy of others. What is best for us should be chosen. Nowadays, there's a trend of customized things, be it gifts or your dresses or jewels, everything. People today tend to customize it. Same way, strategies must also be customized. And the six P's of strategy. The strategic tools include six P's of strategy, that is purpose, perspective, plan, prioritizing, pace, and performance. So, how do you connect these six P's? So, the first thing is understanding the purpose. For example, you have a goal, maybe a goal of career. For example, a student might have a goal of being a doctor. First and foremost, he or she should understand what is the purpose of him being a doctor. What is the purpose that he will choose this career for himself? And then gaining perspective. As I already mentioned, perspective is a very, very personal concept. So you should have your own perspective. When he chooses medicine as his career, he should have that perspective, that rational way of thinking that a medicinal field requires, and then developing a clear plan. Anything can be achieved when you know how to approach that. The right way, the right amount of effort, the right amount of time given to that plan or that goal, then will make you achieve that. So that is why you should customize or you should make a right plan. And then prioritizing activities. For example, you have a plenty of activities, that too in today's competitive fast paced world. You have activities here and there, you're confused what to choose, what to attend, what to not attend, so many things. Prioritize which is meant for you, which is meant or which is supportive to your goal, and then measuring the performance and adjusting the pace. Okay, pace. Pace is really a very vital word, a very key word, because today we have that, predetermined boundary or pre-constructed the age limit in our mind that by this age I should be buying a new home, by this age I should be getting married, by this age I should have child or anything as such. Who determined this? There is no such rule, there is no such history book, there is no such mythological book which told this is the right age to do this thing. No. But why we as humans are there in this rat race, running here and there, that इस बंदा ने कर रहा है मेरे से क्यों नहीं हो रहा. This is what we usually tell. Ki our friends, when we see our friends doing something earlier than us, more than we being upset that we are not able to do, we are upset that he did. Why am I not able to do when he did it at this time? This is where we are going wrong, my dear friends. We need to set our own pace to achieve anything that we desire of or dream of. Then measuring the performance. Once you're closer to your goal, once you feel that you have achieved or reached your goal, you're doing something that you always loved doing, then the next step is you need to measure or connect it with the standards that you set earlier. When you planned that this is my goal, this should be achieved, then you have to set a standard. Then, when you achieve that goal, you have to measure it with this. Am I equal to the standards that I had set earlier as a dreamer? Or am I above that? Or am I below that? Should I be improving till that level? If I'm above that, should I be happy that I'm beyond where I thought I would be? That is what is measuring the performance. So, these are the 6 P's of strategical thinking and planning. So, next one is strategy can be very simple, and it need not be, in big companies they aim at improving customer service and all those things. But we as humans, our strategy is to live and love this life that we are gifted with. As our chief guest already mentioned, she told that this game of life is something that we need to stay. I would imagine this life as someone from above has thrown us into this water called life. In a Sanskrit saying, there is a word that is Bhavasagara. We tend to compare our lives with ocean, that God is the protector of ocean. He is the one who will make us sail through this ocean. So, however, we are in the ocean, we are in this water right now. That is very much important for us to sail this water, to stay here alive, to stay here swimming, but not to reach the bank before than our friend does. That is what we should remind every now and then, that it is not about who is going first, it is about, am I completing it? Am I staying here with all my faith, all my hope on the energy that I believe? And then I told strategy is different from a person to another person. A very simple example for this is studying. So, as a student, we usually have that study hours. So, I might be capable studying at the night hours, or one of my friend might be capable, comfortable, or she might grasp easier when she studies early morning. that's completely left to individual. It is never about how do you or how do you determine or how some books tell that this is the strategy, this is how you must plan, this is how you can achieve. There is nothing as such. This is my insight on this. And tools for strategic thinking. We as JCs, we must be very lucky actually. I call myself fortunate because I joined this organization when I was 17 approximately. So we were taught about SWOT analysis, that is strength, weakness, opportunity, threats. We know so much about history, we know so much about, European history, Asian history, history of our country, history of our locality. But do we really know about ourselves? That is very much important to analyze about ourselves. That is very much vital to know what our inner soul wants. So, one thing I would suggest is practicing gratefulness through writing. For example, if you have a day like tomorrow, if you're someone working or you're a student, for me, my personal strategy, I would share with you all that I maintain a small diary where I write my things like what is the things or what are the tasks I need to do today. So I list up those tasks, and then when I complete those tasks, I just mark a tick over there. That one small right mark gives you a satisfaction. That satisfaction is all I live for, because completing or accomplishing even a tiniest of the task is really a greater achievement for me, because there is nothing called as doing right or wrong. I believe there is only thing called as doing. So people often tell this was a wrong decision, this was right decision, this step I took was right, this step I took was wrong. But I believe it's not about right decision or wrong decision, but it is about deciding. It is about the first step you take to reach where you want to be. It is about the first step you make for a better tomorrow. That is all is about strategy, I believe. And there is one thing that we could do, that is regular training and workshops. And I would love to congratulate all of the participants over here. One thing is you all have chosen JCI as one of the organization to be part of, because maybe personality development or any other aspects as a human, as one human who would want to establish themselves as a very stronger, effective personality in this society, JCI will help them a lot. For that reason, I would congratulate you all. And today, many of you have might different schedules might be there, like you might have a hectic day or anything as such, but you took time, came here, and made sure to participate in this training or workshop. That really is a appreciable task, because participating in these kind of trainings workshop will fire that positive thought, that willing within yourself to do better every day. It's about competing with yourself for a better and brighter tomorrow. And at the end of the day, I would tell you are free to seek help or guidance. You should never let your ego or any such thing be a barrier for that. You can seek guidance from any of the experienced personnel for that reason. That is one of the best strategy. And I would wrap this telling that, see, how much ever we plan, how much ever strategies we make, how much ever tools we collect, and however we execute it, there is something called as universe. Because there is a saying, like in Kannada, we have a Mankutimana Kagga, where it tells Baduku Jataka Bandi. He compares our life to a chariot, where the animal which is carrying the chariot or the bullock cart, maybe that would be a more precise example when I translate it to English. So that is the bullock is taking us, and don't know if it will take us to the funeral or it will take us to a wedding function. Wherever it takes, go. There is land where you can rest upon with no tension, no burden. So that land, I would compare it to hope of tomorrow. So how much ever you plan, there is something called as universe's plan that will have its own way of working, its own time, its own pace. We all, as humans, must respect that factor first, that is universe. And to all my Tamil family, whenever you have planned something and things doesn't fall right in your plan, just sit back and tell yourself iduvum kadandu pogum, because that is the song that has kept me going all these years. Because this too shall pass, so everything will fall right there. Hope this session at least brought a gentle smile on your face. And then a very much thanks to Mugil, because for a fresher like me, this big platform is really a great opportunity. I'm very grateful to JCI institution as a whole, and especially Mugil, and to all the JCI members over here and Delta Group. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. That was very nice, ma'am. By the time they come in, I just thought I cautiously was listening. Very true. There are lots of things which you said made good meaning, and it was very relevant. Um, um, I was just curious. You are not even doing your MBA. You are just a UG degree student. I thought most of this gets covered in MBA in PG course. So you have studied really well and prepared really well. I appreciate your effort because, hello, am I
Thank
audible?
you.
Yeah, yeah,
I prepare for this because of JCI only, I guess, because I was given the privilege to attend so much of trainings, workshop, that
yeah.
I could prepare this.
Very nice. Very nice of you. Very true. Very true. And I would be very, very happy that I know somebody by name Hitha Umesh. Down the line, I want you to see as a national trainer. I want you to be very successful, make it very well, go ahead and study a few more courses and become somebody extraordinary and brilliant. An international trainer, do represent the country. All the very best. Do have a planned, strategic career path for yourself. Don't miss out on that. All the very best. Apply it on your own life and keep
Yes,
going.
ma'am.
Use
Thank you, ma'am.
JCI as a ladder. Yeah,
Thank you.
all the best.